I think as soon as I landed into Richmond, first thing was let's visit campus. And I go into campus and I see this beautiful lake. And what's more beautiful is like all the people surrounding the lake and everyone just, mingling and talking and people just reaching out to you. And the orientation was like probably the smoothest 2 weeks that I've had in Richmond in the first semester. And I think there was no point where I felt that, okay, I think that maybe, I need to fit in better or I need to, probably know better or something. Everyone was very accepting. And I think that I found very, very different kind of people within my same orientation group, since they divided us into groups. And everyone had so much like difference in opinion, in perspective, that it was very fascinating to me as soon as I landed there and started speaking to people. And I found that beauty about Richmond, about having so many different perspectives and every perspective getting its due respect in the very orientation week, that I felt like, I belong there. And it was in the very start that I started feeling like, I would really enjoy here.
Fascinating. Yeah. So, how about the academic choices that you started making early on, and who helped you or figure out the system? Since you coming from an Indian national curriculum system, definitely is very different from a US college environment. How did you quickly learn about all of that?
Yeah. So, first of all, like the few classes that I took in the first semester, I took an economics class, I took a psychology class, I took a math Calc 1 class, and I took a first year seminar, which is for developing reading and writing skills. And with academic skills, I think that what really stood out for me was the work that they put in on your writing and your reading abilities, because that is something that is probably very different from today's Indian education, because I feel like it's a little bit more about memorization and less about understanding it. So the system there was very new to me, and it was very welcoming, because I will tell you, like, my first experience with my math class, and I have not been someone who's really looking forward to math, and this. We've had a conversation about this, but when I went there and my very first class, I was like, wow, this is a whole new side to math. And I just started enjoying it. It was like something just told me that, I've been seeing this subject, I've been seeing this topic in a very different way. And it showed me a much brighter side of it. And that was true with each and every class. It was a much more practical approach. Of course, there were things in which that it was harder for me to adapt, whether it was writing for my first year seminars, my writing from my first class and my writing from my last class. I have huge difference. And it was just because of the teacher and the faculty actually having that time to give to me and wanting to help me out, where there would be situations where my professor would reach out to me and be like, Shash, are you happy with your paper? Do you think you can do better? And I'd always be like, yes. And they'd be like, just, come for off, like, just come, let's talk about it. And those conversations really were, you know, I saw a big change in my papers and my writing and my thinking ability overall.
Wonderful. That's just quite a transformational sort of journey in mathematics for you. And
Yeah.
imagine that now you'll be sort of considering math as such a maybe a major is just outstanding. Great effort there. So also, you were interested in economics. So what's the track that you feel you can follow in economics? And of course, there's so much math. If you want to study economics, there is math too.
Mhm.
So it sort of helps you. So what do you know about things that you've studied already, and how would you, if you choose to do a major, what are the different tracks that are offered?
Yeah. So, in the case of mathematical economics, which is what I want to consider, what I'm considering as of now, I think a big part of it is using data. And I think that both subjects really complement each other when it comes to doing the numbers with math and understanding the logic in the market. I think this is a subject, or this is a combination which can be applied in a lot of areas, whether it is, consulting, whether it is trying to market something, whether it's trying to predict what the market will do in the future, which is also economics. And a few topics which really stood out for me, at least in the first 2 semesters, I've taken micro and macroeconomics. And I was studying the micro point of view, where it's about game theory and it's about the prisoner's dilemma, and these kinds of things. When you apply it to math, it's just amazing how human brains are so are made in a way where the decision making can actually be crunched down into numbers. And I worked with my math professor on the side outside of my class, where we were actually trying to understand how the math can be applied of a prisoner's dilemma in the outside world. And this is something like which is not part of the curriculum, but just because of the faculty, I just got this opportunity to go out of the books, whether it was my economics professor or my maths professor, and it's now something that I feel like I'm looking forward to when I go into an economics class or a math class. And coming to like about careers, I think it's very important for me as a person that I grew into mathematics because now I'm understanding the value of numbers and applying it to economics. So I think data, going into data, analyzing data, actuaries is another very actuarial sciences is also a really big example for someone who wants to go into mathematical economics. And yeah, and also
That's
behavioral
good.
economics is an area which I'm looking at. Yeah.
Super. So I know University of Richmond also has a business program, which is worth talking about, I guess. Did you
Yeah.
get a chance to take classes there, or are you planning to do something? And what is unique about the business program, if at all? If you know
Yeah,
something,
so
please share.
I can speak a little bit. I can speak a little bit about that because I rushed the business fraternity at Richmond. It's called Alpha Kappa Psi, and I got a really good insight into the business world and understanding the practical approach of it. And also, it was a very good experience to understand what the business is in reality and what it takes for a businessman to be at that point. And it's a lot of things that from the outside world I never thought would be required or would be applied in the area of business. But the whole rush process and the teachers, so I interacted with a lot of faculty from the business school as well as a lot of students, and I saw that it is the business school and the business students, they don't just have knowledge about the business world and about markets and stuff like that. They also carry knowledge about the like outside their subject area, which actually they are able to apply into that business. So I think that the business school and rushing the fraternity, and I've taken economics like econ classes in the business school, and I think that it can really be applied very well into any business. And the whole structure of the business school and the way it works with the fraternity and the classes, I think is very unique because it gives liberal arts students an option of even getting a business minor or a major, which can be, of course, further applied into something that they want to do in the future.
Super. So yeah, I think that would have been my next question. How did you get involved in campus life? So the fraternity is one. Did you also then use other resources on campus? Did you try new things in terms of extracurriculars? What were they?
Yeah. So I think one of the super fun things that I've been doing on campus is playing spike ball, and I'm part of the spike ball club. And it's just been initiated very recently, but I think it's a great set of guys that we're playing, and it's just a very well bonded community in the spike ball. It's like a backyard game, but there's so much emotion and there's so much thrill in that game that I've been enjoying that as well. I made a lot of friends through the spike ball club.